What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all doing very well. This was a plus 20 Court of Stars that we did, and I did it on my Resto Shaman, and I did it with the Healing Stream Totem build. So I will link my build down below. I'm going to walk you through the entire dungeon, starting with the Mythic Dungeon Tools thing right here in a second. But I want you to know that I was item level about 398, 397, because I wasn't even 400 item level. But I do have my tier set bonus. You know, I've got a bunch of embellishments. I've got a lot of gear. And I was healing this. And yeah, once again, I'm going to run you through this route right now. And then we're going to walk through the entire dungeon. And I'm going to try and highlight for you what I think is really important, actually, in the higher Mythic Plus keys as a healer. Because you'll see by the end of the video, I didn't do a lot of healing, honestly. The actual like HPS overall is not that big. And that's because that's just not how high Mythic Plus really goes. It's really more about damage. It's more about me kicking stuff, me using my Cap Totem, me using Earthbind Totem, Earth Grab Totem. It's all about the extra little things that you do to make life easier for the DPS and the tank to get the job done. So let's look at the MDT here really quick. This might be confusing to some of you, so don't worry about it. When you come in on the boats, you come in down here and you start on this dock down on the bottom. And then you're going to basically want to sap this guy if you have a rogue, or like banish him if you have like a warlock, or DHs can cage him. Whatever you want to do, you need to basically just incapacitate this enemy. And then you're going to walk up the stairs and your first pack is going to be here. And then you're going to walk over to here with all the extra little mana worms. And remember, there's all the little towers you have to disable. So you disable a tower here, disable a tower here. You cross the bridge and there's another sentry guy. You have to kill him. Then you do pack 4 here. Then you disable all the towers around Gerdo's fight. And then Gerdo's the very first fight. You're not going to have lust, at least the route that we did. We lusted on the first pack here. I don't actually know how necessary that was because we really blew them up. But maybe it still is. So then we don't have lust on Gerdo. This was tyrannical. So this is tyrannical, quaking, spiteful. Okay, those are the affixes. Then this white line is me running to die to the imps. This was part of our strategy. So something I didn't understand until we did this was, if you send somebody here to go, you have to run through all the little houses here and run up the stairs, and you go over to the imps. Once you get over to here where the imps are, the doors at the beginning of the location, they unlock. They're right here. They unlock. So now you have access to this whole middle section without actually everybody having to run up. So what we did is we cleared to Gerdo, and then my team ran backwards down to this pack down here, pack number 6. I run over here to die, and then I respawn back at the beginning, and I just run down to pack 6 to help everybody out. Then we kill pack 6, then we run up the stairs, and then we start pack 7. We clear the rest of this middle area, which has all the mini-bosses, all the little mini-bosses like the Fell Devastation guys and stuff like that. And then, obviously, we're killing the second boss right here. That's number 12. And then we're doing the mini boss after we've done the little mini game into the last boss. So that's the route that we chose. I'm going to skip ahead here. We do a little more conversation about it. But just so you guys understand, that's the route that we ended up taking if you're looking for sort of the Mythic Dungeon Tools part of that. And we're going to get started here. So again, this is a 20 Court of Stars. You can see right here, we've got it over here. We've got tyrannical, spiteful, and quaking. It's actually a very annoying set of affixes for this week. Honestly, it's not a fun one to do for a caster. Quaking's actually really annoying. But anyway, we sap the first mob here. That's what you want to do. Then you run up the stairs. This pack right here, we're going to be lusting. Okay. So the sentry, obviously, you have to deal with. I pop lust here. And then for me as the Resto Shaman, what's my job here? Realistically, it's to drop Cap Totem. I end up dropping it, I think, in a second here. I'm going to keep people alive. The cats are the most dangerous part of this. The cats, they'll jump on enemies, and they'll put a debuff on them. That will almost, like, first of all, the jumping from the cat will almost one-shot you. But besides that, they also put this little blue, like, debuff on you. I'm trying to get this thing, but the Spitefuls are really annoying. I'm trying to touch this tower here. I'm kicking Suppress. As a Resto Shaman in particular, you have a lot of really good tools that can help your team. For slowing down Spitefuls, you're looking at my 2 buttons over here. I've got Earthbind Totem and Earth Grab Totem. I've actually spec'd into Earth Grab Totem. So use both of those on cooldown. Whenever an enemy dies, plop down one of those totems so that your melee dudes aren't going to get just destroyed by the Spitefuls. Because when the Spitefuls start whacking people, they're going to do 30-40% of your HP. So here's the second pull. This is with all the Mana Worms. Again, this isn't too hard. For us, make sure we get our Healing Rain down. I am running Acid Rain, so you want to make sure that you get that down. And the other huge talent that we're running is the Guardian Cudgel, which buffs your Cap Totem. So I'm going to drop Cap Totem right here. So the first Cap Totem goes off. You can see it above the enemy's HP bars. The second Cap Totem is about to go off. The Cudgel makes it proc twice, which is actually insanely broken for so many mobs in so many different dungeons, honestly. Stopping the first initial cast of, like, whatever spell they're casting is incredibly strong, but then a lot of mobs have 2 spells that they try and cast, and if you can stop that second cast immediately afterwards, it's amazing. Like, I can't tell you how good that talent is. Make sure that you run the Cudgel talent. It is so strong. So we clear up here. This section's really dangerous. You need to not pull anybody in this house. You have to think, you know, really skinny thoughts here. Try to make sure that you can get through this without pulling any extra mobs. I'm going to do this tower, or Air knocked it for me. Then, this is the last sentry up here. I'm going to pre-drop a slow totem right there. So then the sentry is slowed. Joe's going to CC him anyway. But again, this is how you can help your team. I drop Cap Totem again. It's going to go off twice. Stuns everybody. It stops everybody from doing anything. These guys try to cast Fortification. They try to cast all kinds of stuff. It just ruins their day if you're able to Cap Totem like that. So really, really solid stuff. We clear. Here's the last pack before the boss. So we're going to, this is a couple of important kicks here. The Construct casts Suppress. You either want to get that or get the tank to get it. And then he casts Charging Station. Charging Station doesn't do anything to the Construct itself. There, it's going off right there. It will heal all nearby allies of the Construct. So you need to kick Charging Station. Very important. Here, I'm just trying to clear debuffs. I'm keeping my totems down. With the build that I'm running the Healing Stream Totem build. So it's focused primarily on just a lot of passive healing from Riptide, passive healing from Healing Rain, and passive healing from Healing Stream Totem. So just keep those abilities rolling at all times. Have Riptides rolling on everybody, have Healing Stream Totems down, and then you're just doing damage. I'm just pumping damage as much as I can. I'm always doing about 21k DPS. Like, it's not hard to do damage as a Resto Shaman at all. It's like one of the easiest things you can do, I promise. All the Spitefuls came out there. I'm not sure if I drop here. I'm going to drop my my totem. So I have Earth Grab Totem on cooldown. Here we go. Drop it right there. They're all rooted. Boom. And then after they're rooted, they'll be slowed. So the root doesn't last for very long usually because they end up getting hit by something else. But the slow will last for a while. So, okay, there's the first boss patrolling. Now we're going to send the rogue off. He's going to stealth right here. He's going to run off and go get the extra towers that we need to get. We're kind of just chilling. I think with our strat, we end up leaving the tower to our right. The tower that's over to our right now, we end up leaving that alone. And it will end up spawning... Or no, maybe Joe just went and grabbed it. Joe just went and grabbed it. So we did get all the towers. So here we go. First boss pull. We do not have Lust. The main issue on this boss fight is when he does his Arcane Lockdown. So you need to jump to break that. We had a priest with us. Asterial's here. I clear early on my... on the seasonal affix. Here's Arcane Lockdown. So Asterial's going to mass dispel it, which is the best part about having a priest. Boom, there goes all of our debuffs. You saw them right there, and there's the mass dispel. So that's a huge, huge deal. That just allows us to not have to do the jumping thing. It's really annoying. So I'm just pumping as much damage as I can. Really, all the healing on this fight is on Joe, unless people make a mistake. As soon as people make a mistake, then I need to start helping out. Realistically, though, this is all just Joe's going to heal himself. Everybody else is going to dodge stuff. And I'm just going to be, like, riptiding. I put healing, my Healing Stream Totems down as much as possible because I'm able to get 10% crit off of that, right? So our DH had a bit of a blunder there. It's hard playing the momentum build, I think, on this fight, actually. I think the momentum build for DHs is extremely hard to play in general. But on this fight, you have to watch for quaking. You have to watch for the beams that are going off. Like, you have to really be careful where you're dashing, like, where you're doing your vengeful retreat. So I don't blame him at all for dying there. Not a big deal. But yeah, quite a simple fight, guys. There's actually nothing really going on in this fight. There's Arcane Lockdown again. I think that Asterial masses it this time. Oh, no, he missed. He wasn't able to, but that's okay because Quaking was going off. So there. Now I have to actually do some healing. That's okay. We've got big heals. There's moments like that. Quaking will overlap sometimes, and Asteria wasn't able to match, because Master Spell does have a cast time, right? So I don't blame him for that at all. We did end up getting stunned with the seasonal affix. I'm not sure why. We had a couple of blunders here, but that's okay. It's just like the way it goes. I decided to just use Ascendance here to get us through that Arcane Lockdown, because I don't think he had enough mana to press Master Spell. And then we get basically close enough, and he ends up going and drinking the poison, and that's it. And we end up dying. So we had a couple blunders there, but it's not a big deal. This key is actually pretty forgiving, to be honest. It's quite a forgiving key. Now, we're coming up to the strat where I need to go kill. I need to go die. I need to go run and pad up, and everybody else is going to go the way. So we kill these worms first. We didn't realize that these worms actually explode on death, so these worms right here are going to detonate when they die. And nobody realized that. So Aronok ends up dying, unfortunately. Another needless death, but that's okay. We kill this guy here, and then I'm off. I'm off on my little adventure. So I run up here, and I do a little dash to get through that guy, and then I'm away. That's all you have to do this strat properly. It literally takes no effort whatsoever. I run up the stairs here. I do this entire little run all the way to the imps. And I run to the first set of imps, and I die. Doing this unlocks the door. And I'll show you in a second. I'm going to release. I was looking to see if there was where the Inquisitors were and stuff, but I couldn't see one, so it's not a big deal. I release. I end up at the start. The doors I've unlocked are behind me now. I'll show you. These doors right here have unlocked. So this is where we start the dungeon. These are the doors that we unlocked now, just from doing that little strat there. Okay, so then we go down here, and maybe you guys have never pulled this section before, but this is the pull 6 that I was showing you about. This is just kind of down the stairs. An extra set of mobs you can pick up. They're just chilling down here. So this is easy pickings. And they just, they do quelling strike and stuff. You got to watch out. But there's nothing really too crazy going on here. Again, you guys can see the amount of healing that is required is just really, really low in this dungeon. There are other dungeons where there's a lot more healing that is required. Don't get me wrong. But in Court of Stars, like, there's just nothing that you need to heal, basically. It's really quite simple. So don't be shocked if by the end of this dungeon, as a Resto Shaman, whatever healer you're playing, your healing numbers are really low. It doesn't mean you did a bad job. It just means that there's not a lot to heal. So now it's all the mini bosses that we have to kill. And here's the first set of imps. This is where Cap Totem is absolutely broken. I don't even end up using it because the rest of them... Oh, we should have used it. Oh, yeah. What happened there? I think I was a little late on my Cap Totem. I think I thought everybody else was going to use their crowd control. This is where communication is really important. So we actually messed that up pretty hard. I should have just Cap Totem, but I thought other people were going to be doing their CC, but turns out they weren't. Then we pulled a little bit extra here, but that's okay. This is a moment where you need to be on top of this. You need to be on the ball here. This is where you can wipe multiple times. So this guy does Searing Glare. You need to kick this. The Searing Glare makes him summon a whole bunch of extra little eyeballs. And then when he does his next ability, which is called Eye Storm, those extra eyes that he has summoned are going to do tons of extra damage to you. So you can also stun him out of Eye Storm, and Joe just gripped him out of it. But just know, if you don't kick Searing Glare, so his Searing Glare got off there, unfortunately, that time. So we're going to need to make sure that we stop him from casting Eye Storm again. Yeah, Searing Glare got interrupted, so we got lucky there. But we actually did a Court of Stars later, like yesterday, I think, and we forgot to kick Searing Glare. So he had like 3 or 4 eyeballs that were summoned, and when he did his Eye Storm thing, everybody just died, like, instantly. It was absolutely insane, the amount of damage that came out. So now, as the healer, you can go do this body. Little Nightborn civilian on the ground. You need to talk to him. Then that will summon the first mini-boss to come. And here's Searing Glare once again. I'm kicking Searing Glare. This is something you need to do as a Resto Shaman. Make sure you're kicking Searing Glare. Then he does Eye Storm, okay? Eye Storm basically doesn't do any damage because we stun him. Scream of Pain is really annoying. There, the eyeballs are out this time. You can see them over there. There's the bad eyeballs. So now we need to make sure that the Inquisitor doesn't get his next cast off. There's Searing Glare. I'm going to kick it again. Good. So then, yeah, I'm doing some damage with Stormkeeper, but this can get really dicey if you're not kicking and stunning appropriately. So I know this looks easy potentially from the way we're doing it, but that's because we're doing all the little things correctly. We're using our kicks, we're using our stuns. You have to do that stuff. That will save your life. It'll heal you for more than you could possibly heal yourself if you just stop enemies from doing their normal spells and abilities. That is a massive deal. So we've also pulled the mini boss, which is the Screams of Pain lady. That just does a lot of damage. It also interrupts you. Don't cast anything while you have Screams of Pain running. So that's why this week is so annoying, because you've got Screams of Pain, which interrupts you, and you've got Quaking, which interrupts you. It's just, look at this. Like, I can't cast any spells ever. I would love to cast spells, but they don't let me. So that's that. Okay, that's that mini boss. Now we're going to summon the next mini boss. It's going to come down here. I think we actually have to cross. Yeah, we have to cross over. So the next guy's on the other side. This is the RNG part of the dungeon. It just depends kind of how it goes. So now we get over here, and the imps are on the way. Here comes the little flame imps. You can see them running their route over there. They're coming around the corner. Once they get here, I'm getting ready for the cap totem, and I don't mess it up this time. There's cap totem. They're casting firebolt. It's gonna go off right as this effect ends. They start casting firebolt again, right there, and cap totem goes off again. So that's why Cudgel is so good. That's why it's so good to take it. And boom, they end up dying. Aeronach does 250,000 damage. Everybody did so much damage there. Look at that. We just blew them up. 251k damage. I'm sorry, he did 2.2 million. Okay, now Joe goes and pulls the Enforcer, and you want to bring them over here because you want to LOS the Enforcers. They do Fell Detonation. That's the big damage ability there. It's coming right now. You want to LOS around the corner for Fell Detonation. Boom. Not a big deal. If you start getting this wrong, it gets really dicey really fast, but if you do it right, it looks really easy. Again, nothing to heal for me. If they were doing it wrong, there'd be lots to heal, but they're doing it right, so it's not a big deal. Okay, that guy's dead. Let me get the next Watcher. You need to kick Disintegration Beam right here. This is your job as the Resto Shaman. You need to kick this every single time. You should be able to get this. I think it's on a 12-second timer. Then he does Impending Doom. That's going to put a dot on 2 allies. Here it is right here. There, we got 2 dots. One on me, one on Asterio. Immediately dispel one of these, okay? I get Asterios right away. Then the other person who you don't dispel, you're going to have to triage heal. Just healing surge them until they're fine, okay? Then Disintegration Beam's coming. I need to kick this. I think I miss it there. Oh, I get it. I get it after. So there you go. And then Impending Doom, it's the same thing. 2 more dots there. You need to dispel one of these right away and then triage the other person. I'm going to triage myself here. And I popped my defensive for the last one. So the Impending Doom does like ticking damage and then it explodes at the end. So it's very dangerous. We pull a couple of extra mobs here. Not a big deal. I don't know if we meant to do that or not, but there's the Impending Doom. I dispel myself right away and then I leave it on the DH for now. He's got a bunch of leech, so if the DH ever gets it, you should probably just leave it on him. He can leech it back himself. You don't even need to help him. There's Disintegration Beam. I kicked it again. It was on a stereo for a second there, unfortunately. But there you go. Not a big deal. Again, what are we doing to contribute to this fight? I'm kicking and I'm dispelling. That's 90% of what I'm doing there. I'm not healing, guys. I've got Riptide out and I've got Healing Stream out and I've got Healing Rain on the ground. That's it. I'm just kicking and dispelling. So it sounds really strange, but these are the things that you have to do that make all the difference for your team. Then we have to cross over to the other side. We're getting really unlucky with the Enforcer spawns. Again, these are random. This is Fell Detonation once again, so just get around the corner. Don't worry about it. You don't have to heal anything. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. A couple people got hit with Fell Detonation there. That's okay. I think Joe can get hit with it. Like, the tank can get hit with it because he can just heal it up. It's not a big deal. So, there we go. Now, it's the last mini-boss. This guy does the Shockwave. He just does a frontal cone in front of him. He's going to jump on your head as well. Crushing Leap. He's going to jump on somebody's head, and then he does Shockwave. So just don't be standing in it. Get out of the way of it. And that literally, you should take no damage on this mini-boss fight at all. Then you get to the boss fight. Okay? This boss fight, you're going to have Lust. And this boss is probably, I would argue, the most healing-intensive boss fight in this dungeon by far. It gets really, really dicey. So you want to stack together for when the ads come. You want to kick Withering Soul. You want to stack up because this Infernal Eruption will spawn an ad under your feet. Okay, so stack in really close because then you can CC them. Here comes my Cap Totem. You can CC them. There's one, and they're going to try and do Firebolts, and you can AoE them down. The big problem with this fight is Quaking, of course. And then we're taking a ticking dot all the time during this fight. You can see my HPS is Burning Intensity. That's the ticking dot that we're always taking, okay? So make sure you have Healing Rain down, and then you're just going to cycle through your cooldowns. Remember what you have for your cooldowns really quickly. You have Ascendance down here. You have Spirit Link Totem, Healing Tide Totem. You have Totemic Recall to get all your Healing Stream Totems back or to get Earthen Wall Totem back. Double Earthen Wall on this fight is not a bad idea at all. And then you have AG. You have Ancestral Guidance. So use all of your cooldowns to keep everybody safe in this fight, okay? Again, the imps are coming out. Withering Soul's coming out. Quaking's coming out as well. There's a lot going on in this fight to keep track of. You just have to really, this is your moment to just try to heal as much as possible. But look what we're doing. Like, I'm doing 25k DPS and 35k HS. Again, I still need to keep my DPS up. That's the biggest part of this fight. Like, use your Stormkeeper on the imps to do lots of chain lightning damage. And then the rest of the time, you need to focus on healing. Like, you have moments here where you can do damage, and then moments where you need to heal. Again, here's my next cooldown. I still have AG left, and I still have Ascendance left, okay? So we still got lots of cooldowns in the tank. Burning Intensity is just going off all the time. Oh, sorry, there's a sub from Tyler. Get Healing Rain on the ground again. Don't forget about Healing Rain. Always keep it down. It'll do more healing than you think it will. Now I have Ascendance. I think I'm going to pop that here. Pretty sure. Or do I pop it on the next one? I forget when I popped it. I guess I saved it there. That was actually pretty, like, so I just triaged healed. I just triaged healed like a maniac right there. Oh, and I died. Yeah. Oh, I did use AG there. That was Ancestral Guidance. So I should have used something else. Why did I die here? This is actually great to understand. So a Firebolt goes off, I think. A couple Firebolts go off here. Ah, this one goes off right here. Look how much damage this does to my health. Look at my health. That's from one Firebolt. It did 185,000 damage. Okay? And then drifting. Yeah, I just died to the dot. So, again, you have to kick every single imp on this fight. Do not forget to kick the imps. Like, they need to get CC'd or you'll take way too much damage, okay? We do end up killing it anyway. Not a big deal. And I didn't use Ascendance, so that was a mistake. 2 mistakes there. Number 1, I probably could have kicked that imp, but I was kind of busy. So the other guys on my team should have kicked the imp, realistically. But number 2, I could have used Ascendance there. So something to clean up for next time, something to work on. But you can see how that kind of works, right? You just cycle through your cooldowns, and you're able to end up getting the job done there. And again, a couple mistakes just immediately leads to a death. If you don't do it right, you're going to die right away. So on this part here, if you have a Demon Hunter, you need to go collect all 5 clues. Go collect them, and then the Demon Hunter can use Spectral Sight once you've collected all 5 clues, and he'll be able to find the imposter that you're looking for. You can see we're running out of time here, but that's okay. Here's the mini boss. One thing Asterial was mentioning to me on this fight is that once this mini boss gets low enough, you need to send somebody to the door to unlock the door, like, right away. Like, just because somebody here, Joe's going to pick up the keys from the mini boss when he dies, and then as soon as Joe picks up the keys, somebody can start opening the door towards the final boss. So make sure that you do that. There's still some RP that you have to sit through, but generally speaking, yeah, that's what you want to do. So this guy's about to die here, and I start running right at this final part here. Asterial's like, you should go now. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. I get into Ghost Wolf form, and then I do my Gust of Wind, and we're off. And then they're going to get the kill, and you can see the door will be gray right here. Before Joe picks up the keys, the door is all gray for me, but it's going to turn, my little knob thing here is going to turn yellow in a second. There it goes. Now I can start opening the door right away. And by the time everybody gets here, the RP will just be finishing on Melandrus, and then we can start the final fight. Okay? So the Melandrus fight is interesting. Asterial tried to be the ranged person who's going to bait. So you want to try and bait Melandrus's dash. So everybody else should stack together except for one ranged person, and they're going to try and bait this Blade Surge. So you can see Asterial's doing it correctly. I think I end up messing it up a little bit later because I get too far away from the boss. He picks the ally, one of your allies that's the furthest away from the boss. That's who's going to get chosen. So you need to be careful with this. So there's Blade Surge number 2. Here's the big ticket problem for us as a healer. Slicing Maelstrom does so much damage to the entire group. And if you're within the range of these adds, they pulse as well. So watch this. See the pulse coming out of the adds? If you're standing within this circle, you're going to basically die. So this is why you want to bait all the Blade Surges, which spawn those adds. You want to bait that far away from everybody else, and then you want to group up together. But this moment here during Slicing Maelstrom is when we need to heal like crazy. And it doesn't look like there's a lot of healing right now, but it gets worse and worse and worse as the fight goes on because the arena, excuse me, the arena is going to fill up with those Blade Surges, and then there's going to be tons and tons of those adds hanging around. So, once again, what do we have? We have Ascendance, we have Spirit Link, we have Healing Tide Totem. What am I going to use right here? I should have used something, but I think I just triaged through this. So that's not okay. I should do that better. You should just use a cooldown because it saves you mana. So remember, I've got all my cooldowns here, and I'll be able to... Oh, he got stunned. Oh, yeah, that's what happened. The DH got stunned by accident, but that's okay. We'll get him up. So I think on this next one, this next Slicing Maelstrom, I need to use a cooldown. I forget what I used. There. Earthen Walls down, and I use Spirit Link for this one. So that's a good one. You can see everybody's fine, even with Quaking. Now, on the next one, I can use Ascendance, and on the next one, I can use Healing Tide Totem. So I did use AG already. My Ancestral Guidance is already down. But just, that's how you play these fights, guys. It's actually so simple as a Resto Shaman. You have your regular spells like Riptide, Healing Rain, and Stream Totem. I'm sorry. You got those 3 down. If people need Triage Healing, you got to use Healing Surge, and that's what you want to do. So here I used Ascendance. You back it up right there. Boom. I pop it right there. There's a big Ascendance. Aeronoc's going to die, so I focus on him. And then I'm just Healing Surging people. So that's what you want to do. But then, you know, with those regular spells that you have, you just need to layer that on top with one big cooldown. So you have your 3 or 4 regular spells that you cast, and it's got a big cooldown. Then you get your 3 or 4 regular spells, and it's got a big cooldown on top to cap it all off. Okay, that's how you do it. So you can see the arena's getting really messy now. There's Slicing Maelstrom number 5. I've got my Healing Tide Totem out. It's not really going to help you a ton in this situation because it's not like a big burst cooldown, but Darkness went down from the DH. That was really helpful. And now I'm telling my team I am out of cooldowns. I'm saying, guys, you're going to have to fend for yourselves on these last 2 Slicing Maelstroms. I don't have anything to help you, okay? There's Blade Surge. Here comes Slicing Maelstrom in a second. I've got my totems down, but I'm standing. Look at where I'm standing. Big mistake here. I'm standing right next to these ads. Huge mistake. I'm taking a lot more damage. Luckily, I had 2 totems down. Plus, I was just triage healing everybody. So I kind of got lucky there. But that does so much damage to you that you don't need to take. So there we go. We're pushing through. We got one last Slicing Maelstrom to deal with. Again, you can just see how this fight kind of unravels as it goes on. It's really hard. There's the last Slicing Maelstrom. Boom. I'm just Healing Surging. Healing Surge, Healing Surge, Healing Surge. You want to pre-Riptide for sure. Have some Riptides out. Have Healing Rain ready to go on the ground. And then that's the rest of the fight, guys. That's it. Joe is stunned there at the end. Poor Joe. There we go. We got Keystone Hero, Court of Stars. Boom, baby. Plus 20. I think we'd already done a plus 20 before or something. I didn't get a lot of rating for it, which is hilarious. But that's the dungeon. Let me look at the HPS overall. 17.4. It's like basically nothing. And again, Court of Stars doesn't have a lot of healing that is demanded of you unless people are getting hit by stuff that they shouldn't be getting hit by. Then it becomes a big problem, okay? But high level keys are all about this, guys. They're all about DPS. How much DPS can you do? That is what they're all about. If you can do a lot of damage, you will make these keys basically trivial. The other thing that's really important from the Resto Shaman's point of view, what do you need to be doing, guys? You need to be using Wind Shear on cooldown. Kick important abilities so that the DPS don't have to worry about it. It is your job, if you're in there, to do that. Use Cap Totem on cooldown with Cudgel. You'll get insane amounts of value. This week, for Spiteful, you've got Earthbind Totem and Earth Grab Totem. You got both of those that you can use. Again, it's all about your utility. It's about your utility. If enemies have shields, you can purge them. There's a lot of good things that you can do in this dungeon. So just the basic healing is not that difficult. You got your basic spells. Riptide, Healing Stream Totem, Healing Surge for triage, okay, and Healing Rain on the ground. You kind of do those 3 things, and then again, you're layering it on top. What's the big cooldown I'm using? Let's use Ascendance right now. Boom, good. Okay, now we're going to use Spirit Link Totem. Okay, now we're going to use Ancestral Guidance. Okay, now we're going to use Healing Tide Totem. Good. So and, like, you've got those different cooldowns to help supplement your healing, and all that's doing is buying you time to actually be able to do damage, because you need to do damage as a healer, and then you have to use your kicks and all that jazz. So that's the dungeon, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm going to keep posting these dungeons. I've done a couple. I think we've done 3 plus 20s now. So we're getting there. I'm really enjoying it on the Resto Shaman. Having an absolute blast. We tried a Ruby Life Pools last night, and it was so insanely hard. I might just have to wait until next week before I can do that one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I love you all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.